My girlfriend insisted her male best friend join our anniversary dinner. He is part of my life. Deal with it. I said absolutely. Then I invited my female best friend too and introduced her as the woman who actually appreciates me. The tension lasted 12 minutes before my girlfriend exploded. I am 28, male. I have been with my girlfriend for 3 years. We moved in together about 18 months ago into an apartment that I pay 70% of rent on because I make more money. That is relevant later. So here is the thing about my girlfriend is best friend. This dude has been in her life since college. Cool. Fine. Whatever. I am not one of those insecure guys who thinks men and women cannot be friends. My own best friend is a woman I have known since high school. We are practically siblings. But there is a difference between having an opposite gender best friend and whatever the heck my girlfriend is going on with this guy. For context, he texts her constantly. Like we will be watching a movie and her phone is buzzing every 3 minutes. He calls her babe in texts. When I brought that up once, she laughed and said I was being ridiculous. He shows up to our apartment unannounced multiple times, always when I am at work. She tells me after the fact like it is no big deal. He has made comments about how she settled when she got with me. She brushed it off as his sense of humor. I brought up my discomfort maybe 5 or 6 times over the past year. Each time I get the same response. He has been in my life way longer than you have. You need to accept that. All right. Message received. So our 3-year anniversary was coming up. I made reservations at this really nice Italian place. Not insanely fancy, but definitely a special occasion spot. I was actually excited. Thought maybe we could reconnect, because honestly things have felt distant lately. 2 days before the dinner, she casually mentions that her best friend is going through a rough patch. Something about a breakup. I told him he could join us for dinner, she says. He needs to get out of the house. I just stared at her for a solid 10 seconds. You invited him to our anniversary dinner, I asked. It is not a big deal. We can celebrate anytime. He needs support right now. Our anniversary is literally once a year. That is the whole point. Why are you being so selfish? He is part of my life. Deal with it. That phrase, deal with it. I had heard it probably 50 times over the past year. Always about him. Never about anything I needed her to deal with. Something just clicked in my brain, like a switch flipping. I smiled. You know what? Absolutely. Bring him along. She looked surprised, almost suspicious. Really? Yeah, actually let me invite my best friend too. Make it a double date kind of thing. She hesitated. Your best friend, the girl? Yeah, she is part of my life. You need to deal with it. Her face did this weird thing. Couldn't quite read it, but she agreed. Now my best friend is honestly one of the best people I know. When my dad passed 2 years ago, she drove 4 hours to be at the funeral. When I was struggling at my job, she would call me every night just to listen. She has never once overstepped boundaries with my relationship. In fact, she has actively encouraged me to work things out with my girlfriend multiple times. I called her and explained the situation. She was quiet for a moment. You want me to come to your anniversary dinner because your girlfriend is bringing another guy? She asked. Pretty much. Dude, that is messed up that she is doing that. I know. I will be there. So the night arrives. We get to the restaurant. My girlfriend's best friend is already there, which annoyed me because she told him the time before she told me. He is sitting at our table looking smug. Does this little wave when we walk in. My girlfriend sits next to him. Not across from him, next to him. At our anniversary dinner, I do not say anything. I just sit down. About 5 minutes later, my best friend arrives. She looks great, not in a trying too hard way, just put together and confident. She comes over, gives me a hug, and sits next to me. My girlfriend's best friend immediately asks, "Who is this?" I smiled, and I said, "This is the woman who actually appreciates me." The table went dead silent. My girlfriend's face went red. "Excuse me," she said. "You heard me. She appreciates me, shows up when I need her, doesn't make me feel like I am competing for attention, doesn't invite random people to important moments." Random people? her best friend scoffed. He is my best friend and she is mine. You wanted to bring yours to our anniversary. I brought mine. Problem? Her best friend starts laughing. Actually laughing. Bro, you are really comparing me to her. I have known your girlfriend for... My best friend cut him off. I have known him for 12 years. How long have you been texting his girlfriend good morning beautiful every day? The guy is face dropped. My girlfriend his head snapped toward him. What do you know about that? She demanded. My best friend looked at me. I looked at my girlfriend. She doesn't, I told her, because I needed someone to talk to about this stuff, someone who actually listens. That is when the explosion happened, exactly 12 minutes into dinner. My girlfriend stood up knocking her water glass over. You have been talking about our relationship with her. You have been prioritizing him over our entire relationship for over a year. I have tried talking to you. You told me to deal with it, so I found someone who actually gives a damn about how I feel. This is humiliating, she yelled. Yeah, it is. Now you know how I felt. Her best friend tried to intervene. Listen, man, you are making a scene. Shut up. Genuinely just shut up. You have been circling my relationship like a vulture since day one. Everyone sees it except her. My best friend quietly said maybe we should all calm down. My girlfriend grabbed her purse. I cannot believe you did this. On our anniversary, you are sleeping on the couch tonight. No, I am not. You can sleep wherever you want. I am going to finish my dinner with someone who respects me. She stormed out. Her best friend followed her, but not before giving me this death glare. My best friend and I sat there in the aftermath. The waiter came over looking terrified. We ordered. We ate. She let me vent for like 2 hours. Didn't judge. Didn't lecture, just listened. I do not know where this goes from here, but something changed tonight. I am done being the guy who just deals with it. Update 1. The fallout. 3 days later. Okay, so things have escalated significantly. First, thank you everyone for the support, and also for the people who call me petty. Fair points on both sides TBH. So after the restaurant incident, I went home expecting World War III. Instead, my girlfriend wasn't there. She had gone to stay with surprise her best friend. Left me a text that said, "We need space." You embarrassed me. I didn't respond. Just went to bed in my own bed. Because I have to pay most of the rent for that bed. Next morning, I wake up to 17 texts from her. Not apologizing. Demanding that I apologize. A few highlights. I cannot believe you brought her to our anniversary. You made it seem like there is something going on between you two. Everyone at that restaurant probably thinks you are cheating on me. My best friend says you owe both of us an apology. That last one really got me. He thinks I owe him an apology. Wild. This is what psychologists call DARVO, deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. She is the one who ruined the anniversary, but she is attacking me and playing the victim. I sent back one message. When you are ready to have an adult conversation about boundaries, let me know. Radio silence for about 8 hours. Then she shows up at the apartment with her best friend. Both of them. Like it is a team negotiation. I was sitting on the couch working on my laptop. They walk in and her best friend immediately starts talking. Look, man, we need to clear the air. You clearly have some insecurities. I held up my hand. You do not live here. You do not get to mediate my relationship. Get out. My girlfriend, do not talk to him like that. Then tell him to leave so we can talk privately, like adults, like people in a relationship. She hesitated. Actually hesitated. Like she was considering it but couldn't bring herself to ask him to leave. Her best friend smirked. See, she wants me here. Maybe that should tell you something. I closed my laptop. It does. It tells me everything I needed to know. I got up, walked to our bedroom, and started packing a bag. My girlfriend followed. What are you doing? I am staying with a friend for a few days. You clearly need your support system around. Enjoy the apartment. You cannot just leave. Watch me. Where are you going? To her place. I stopped packing, looked at her. Does it matter? You have never cared about boundaries before. Why start now? She started crying. And honestly, I felt bad. I did. 3 years together doesn't just evaporate. But I also couldn't shake the image of her sitting next to him at our anniversary dinner. The way she hesitated when I asked her to tell him to leave. I stayed with my buddy from work. He has got a spare room and he is chill. My best friend texted to check on me, but I didn't go to her place because honestly I didn't want to give my girlfriend any ammunition. Over the next 2 days, my girlfriend's behavior got weird. She started posting stuff on social media not directly about me but clearly aimed at me. Quotes about knowing your worth, and when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Her mom called me, said I needed to apologize to her daughter and that nice young man who has always been there for her. I told her mom with respect that her daughter invited another man to our anniversary dinner, and I wasn't apologizing for having a reaction to that. She hung up on me. Then the mutual friends started texting. My girlfriend had apparently told everyone her version of events, that I brought a woman to sabotage our anniversary, that I publicly humiliated her, that I have been emotionally cheating for months. I didn't defend myself to most of them, just said, ask her why I brought someone else, and left it at that. The ones who actually asked, they went quiet real fast. Here is where it gets messy. My girlfriend texted me asking when I was coming home. I said I wasn't sure. She said she needed to know because her best friend was going to stay over a few nights to keep her company since I abandoned her. I read that text probably 6 times. Then I called my landlord. See, here is the thing. My name is on the lease, only my name. She moved in with me. We never added her officially because she said it was too much paperwork. I asked the landlord what my options were. He said if I want to end my lease early, there would be a penalty, but I could also just not renew when it ends in 2 months. Or I could give written notice that an unauthorized tenant needed to vacate. I thanked him and said I needed to think. That night her best friend posted a picture from my apartment sitting on my couch. Caption said, "Comfort food and comfort friends." My best friend sent me that screenshot. Just said, yikes. I made a decision. More updates coming. If you are enjoying this story, hit the subscribe button. We talk about setting boundaries and self-respect here on Story Sparks. Update 2. The move out. 1 week later. Things have gotten worse before they got better, but I think they are finally getting better. So after seeing that photo of her best friend lounging in my apartment like he owned the place, I decided I was done playing nice. First thing I did, I went back to the apartment when I knew they would both be at work. Girlfriend has a 9 to 5 and her best friend apparently does something in marketing. I took all my important stuff, documents, my gaming setup, clothes, anything I actually cared about. Left the furniture because most of it was there before me anyway. I also took photos of everything, the state of the apartment, my stuff, the general layout, just in case. Then I left her a formal written letter, very professional, stated that I was terminating our living arrangement, that I would continue paying my portion of rent through the lease end date in 2 months, but that I would not be returning. I also noted that any damage to my remaining property would be documented and addressed accordingly. Cold? Yeah, but I was done with emotional conversations that went nowhere. She called me 31 times that day. I answered once. You cannot just leave, we have a life together. We had a life together, past tense. You made your choice at that restaurant. I didn't do anything, I just wanted my friend there. And I just want a girlfriend who prioritizes our relationship. Guess we both wanted things we couldn't have. Where are you staying? We need to talk in person. No. What do you mean no? I mean no. I am not telling you where I am staying. I am not having another conversation with your best friend present. And I am not apologizing for finally standing up for myself. She hung up. The next few days were a lot. Her best friend started texting me directly. At first it was aggressive stuff about how I was a coward and how I would regret this. Then it shifted to weirdly conciliatory messages about how we could all work this out and how I was overreacting. I screenshotted everything, didn't respond to any of it. Then he tried a different approach. He started reaching out to my friends asking about me, trying to figure out where I was staying. One of my buddies told me he showed up at a bar where our friend group sometimes hangs out asking questions. That is when I realized this guy wasn't just a pushy friend. He was obsessed with controlling this situation. I talked to my best friend about it. She said something that stuck with me. He is not fighting for her. He is fighting to win against you. There is a difference. She was right. This is triangulation. Shutterstock bringing a third person into a relationship to create competition and drama. The breakthrough came from an unexpected place. One of my girlfriend's coworkers reached out to me. We met a few times at work events. She said she felt weird getting involved but thought I should know something. Apparently, my girlfriend and her best friend have been the subject of office gossip for months. People at her job have assumed they were together. Multiple coworkers have asked if she is single because they never see her mention a boyfriend but constantly hear about this guy. I thanked her for letting me know. She said she wasn't trying to cause drama but thought I deserved to know how things look from the outside. This is an emotional affair. Prioritizing an emotional connection with someone outside the relationship over your partner. Here is the thing. I still do not know for certain if anything physical happened between them. Maybe it didn't. Maybe I am wrong about all of it, but at this point it almost doesn't matter. The emotional priority was clear. I was never going to be the most important person in that relationship. I found a new apartment, smaller than what I had, but it is mine. Just mine. Signed the lease yesterday. My best friend helped me move my stuff in. We got pizza and sat on the floor because I do not have furniture yet. She asked if I was okay. I said I will be. She nodded. Good. You deserve better than being someone's backup plan. Final update. 3 weeks later. All right, last update because I think this story has reached its natural conclusion. So the lease on my old apartment ended. I paid my portion through the end like I said I would. My ex had to figure out the rest. From what I heard through mutual friends, she couldn't afford it alone. Her best friend offered to move in and split rent. Let that sink in. 2 months after I leave, he is officially living in the apartment we shared. The apartment she claimed was our home. A few people in our friend group finally woke up to what was happening. 3 of them reached out to apologize for believing her version of events at first. They had seen enough by now to understand why I left. My ex tried to contact me once more. Long email this time. It started with accusations. I had given up on us. I had never tried to understand her friendships. I had publicly humiliated her at the anniversary dinner. Then it shifted to nostalgia. She wrote about good memories. Our first trip together. The time I took care of her when she had food poisoning. Little moments that I had honestly forgotten about. Then came the ask. She wanted to meet. Talk things through. Closure, she called it. I thought about it for a day. Then I wrote back a short response. I hope you find what you are looking for. But I am not part of that journey anymore. I wish you well. Please do not contact me again. She didn't respond. Part of me expected anger. Maybe she would finally process things. Maybe she just had nothing left to say. Either way, I was grateful for the silence. Her best friend tried one more stunt. He showed up at my job, just walked into the lobby and asked the receptionist if he could speak to me. She called me confused because she didn't recognize his name. I told her to tell him I wasn't available and to not let him pass reception. Security escorted him out when he wouldn't leave. He apparently made a scene yelling about how I was a coward and how I had ruined everything. Very mature. HR flagged the incident. I had to explain the situation, which was mortifying, but they were understanding. That was the last direct contact from either of them. Through the grapevine, I learned that my ex and her best friend did become official. A lot of people weren't surprised. Some of her own friends had apparently been waiting for it to happen. The office coworker who tipped me off said the mood in my ex's workplace was told you so energy. I do not know if I feel vindicated by that. Mostly I feel tired. 3 years gone, but also 3 years that taught me something important. I deserve to be someone's first choice, not their safe option while they figure out what they really want. My best friend and I are still just friends BTW since I know some of you are going to ask. We grabbed dinner last week and she told me she was proud of me for how I handled everything. Said I could have been way more vindictive but chose to just walk away cleanly. I am slowly furnishing my new place. Got a couch last weekend. A real couch, not some hand-me-down. I picked it out myself. It is a weird kind of freedom, choosing your own stuff without compromise. Work is fine. Friends are good. I downloaded a dating app, but I am not really using it yet. Just letting it sit there as a reminder that the option exists when I am ready. The apartment is quiet at night, sometimes too quiet. But I would rather have that than constant anxiety about where I stood in my own relationship. One last thing. About a week ago, I was getting coffee before work. Random Tuesday, nothing special. And I felt okay. Not great, not healed. Just okay. Content with the morning, looking forward to the day. It was the first time in months I had felt that way without forcing it. So yeah, that is the story. Guy brings another man to anniversary dinner. Girlfriend shocked when boyfriend doesn't just deal with it. Thanks for listening. If you are going through something similar, just know you are allowed to have standards. You are allowed to leave. And you are definitely allowed to stop being someone's backup plan. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching.